Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk a bit about the 1961 alox Soldier Swiss Army knife. We have now tomorrow Christmas 2013, and I just felt like it because there is a chance that the Apocalypse Green Soldier Swiss Army knife gonna be the last one made in Ibach, Switzerland. So I did feel like it and take out part of my collection of Swiss Army knives, especially the soldiers that I collected all over the years, just for my personal enjoyment and to remember all the good things that did happen while collecting and organizing such limited editions and all that. So then I think why not make a video out of it. It's gonna be quite likely a two-part video. This part gonna be only about the alox, and there gonna be a part about the wartime Swiss Army knives that was prior the alox style back then. So in the 1960s the Swiss military did start with looking for a new Swiss Army knife, something that was lighter, more compact and easier to use than the regular ones. And basically they did find that Victorinox did make what they would like to have. And as we see on this sample, the tang stamp says Elsener, Schweiz, Victoria. So they use different stamps. Of course, the Elsener name is the family name of Victorinox, the owner. Schweiz is the canton, the area of Switzerland where that is made, and Victoria is named after a woman of the Elsener family that was really influenced as well. That did later evolve into Victorinox. Victoria together with inox stainless, as the stainless blades did come up. What we also see on this blade is the stamp, one of the different stamps of the military. We have the hollow rivet on the back side. Then this one has, of course, the year stamp. It's 1962. So there we're gonna see in this video there are different year stamps, different variation of thicknesses, of deepnesses and all that. So it was not always the same. The tools, of course, are the regular soldier, alox Soldier Swiss Army knife. This one is a Elsener. Then we have a second Elsener, same version, also with 62. And we see also back then the anodizing quality was not as well as in our days. So they are mainly pretty much worn like this. Actually this one is already still in a really good condition for what you would find from in the used market in Switzerland. So that was the reason why they later did change to the silver alox, because the anodization was not as well. Why exactly they did choose the red color first hand, I don't know. I suggest that they quite likely want to have a bit of brighter color, that they find it better on the ground if dropped, and especially in the snow in Switzerland. And the silver one, of course, blend in right into the snow, red one not. So What I have here is a bit a more used version, Elsener, and 63. 63, and we see the handle, the alox, how it is more used, and we see the waffle pattern, how that would turn out as it is more used. The red ones are hard to get and high priced, so that is tough, especially outside Switzerland. This one is an Elsener, still from 63. Then we have near a new one, also Elsener. The scales and the tools are really nice, from 1963. And then we come to the first Wenger. Wenger, of course, did make the same knife for the Swiss military. There were other companies that did make knives for the Swiss military, but the alox was mainly Victorinox and Wenger back then. Also a red alox, hollow rivet, and there is really shallow to see the 63, and that is just not deep stamped enough. Hopefully the camera can grab it. So that is already showing you the difference. I'm not gonna say the Swiss French were too lazy to stamp it deeper, but it looks a bit like that. This one is a 64, is a bit more easy to spot, and the front is also really shallow, non-deep stamp, but it's a Wenger Delemont. Delemont, of course, is the main center. Handle is still really nice with the hollow rivet and all. So then we come back to Elsener with 64 year stamp, again really deep now. Back to 65, a Wenger Delemont. Again, the stamp is really shallow, non-deep. The quality of the knife is pretty much the same. Sometimes they had a bit problem with the springs, with that they lose the tension over time in a Delemont by Wenger. I don't know exactly what was the problem, but that is what the collectors encounter. This one is a 65 Elsener. '66, also an Elsener. And then it did start with silver alox. There was a bit a mix, a transition between silver and red over those 66-ish years, 65, 66, you know. So this one is a Wenger. The stamp is deeper, the scales are silver, still the hollow rivet, and yeah, 66. Then we have one from my birth year, 1970, Elsener. The silver alox are usually visually in a nicer condition, of course, than the red one, a second 70 Elsener. '72. This time the stamp is pretty deep. It's a Wenger. The front stamp is deeper too. They did adjust the machine. '73 Elsener. A bit about the hollow rivet that was used for the Sturmgewehr 57, for the rifle grenade, for the assault rifle as a sight device. I don't have that rifle in USA right now, so I can't show you. I did make some pictures in the past. Basically, they put a cord on the rifle and used it as a lead to hang down, and there was by the bipod a scala, and you could angle correct and then fire the rifle grenade on the tank or whatever you want to hit. This one is a 76 Victorinox. So those rifle grenades had a really hard recoil. I remember how we did that, and yeah, it was tough. It did hurt the rifle. And here we see a 77, a Victorinox. There was already a change, as we see in between the years to the scales. There were many different scales and changes. We see from this to this. The Waffenmark stamp is gone. In the past they did check each knife by hand in the arsenal and put the stamp on. There was nearly no bad knife or non-working knife, so they left that out, and it was that stamp was gone. There were many different variations of that. The hollow rivet did still stay on a bit. Remember in 1990, as I did go to the Swiss military, to the military police, we still had the 57 rifle and other like World War II equipment. And then the hollow rivet was still there. Victorinox 79. Basically the two-color logo that was also, I need to say, that is special anodizing, which did lead later into splash. That's a step similar to my splash, which we're gonna have a look a bit later. This one is a Victorinox 79. 81 Victorinox. 82 Victorinox. I mainly did concentrate on Victorinox Swiss Army knives. Victorinox again, 83. That was quite often in Switzerland that the people collect the different year stamps. This one is 83. This one is a Wenger, and we see the crossbow on it. It says Wenger Delevaux, Switzerland, stainless, and it has the crossbow on it as well. Many people think it's an umbrella, but no, that is a crossbow like from William Tell. That is a different story I need to tell one day. The crossbow is really important for us, and Victorinox did drop it, and many other companies as well. This one is a 83, and we're gonna use that again by swissbianco. It's gonna come. Victorinox 84, 1984. I remember really well. That was a great year. Many good things happened. Like in 2013, many bad things did happen, but 84 was a great year. Yeah, that's a Victorinox 84 again. Then we have the top row. We're gonna start with the bottom row. Another 84. I did like it so well. I did get a couple of those. 1985. 86. This one is a Wenger again with the crossbow. Especially the later Wenger had a really good quality. There was not much difference anymore. 89 Victorinox. And 1990. This is a Victorinox. 1990 was a strange year. Many strange things happened, but yeah, we survived it. 1991 Victorinox. And then we have the same from Wenger, also 91. The stamp is still a bit less visual. 93 Victorinox. 93 Wenger, we see again the stamp is a bit less visual. I don't know exactly why that is, if they just did not stamp it deep enough, if the manufacturing process was different, that they stamped it first and then they grind it on the surface. It's hard to say. And now Wenger is gone anyhow, completely gone, and the people that did their work on those knives back then, that is all pretty much gone as well, so we never gonna know. Here we see again 06, a Wenger, this time with the bail. They did use the hollow rivet and the bail for a certain time. Only Wenger did. It's unclear why they did that. Maybe that was a request, a special request, but those are military knives. Second one with 06. Yeah, because that was a bit special, I got me a couple. And then we have here the 06 from Victorinox with the deep stamp and no bail. We see already there was a change. I did between 91 and 93, I did over jumped it a bit. The hollow rivet did go away. Yeah, that was because officially in 1990 we would have get the newer assault rifle, and that was designed around the 5.56 US ammunition, just a Swiss version of that ammunition that did create a lot of problems back then with manufacturing of the powder of the bullet and hurt the gun about corrosion and all that. They had a lot of problems to overcome somehow, and one of the problems was the rifle grenade. We still had a similar rifle grenade for that rifle, and because it was a smaller, more plastic than the 57, it did break really easy, so they did stop using the rifle grenade. So there was no need for a special hollow rivet. They could use like the other rivets and don't make a special hollow one anymore, so that feature did fall off. This is a 06. 07 Victorinox. Yeah, from the 07 here is Wenger. We see the engraved part is again less deep, and we see the 07 here has still the hollow rivet, so they did mix and match. Also we see the different color of the rivet. Sometimes there were some differences, and they used up some parts, but the overall quality of the knife is really good. Anyway, it doesn't matter who made it. 08. And then it did pretty soon come to an end. 08. The 08 was the last run for the military. 2008, and we also did make 10 pieces in a limited edition like this in red alox. Those models, as I say, were only made in 10 pieces. 2 pieces are with me. 1 piece is in Germany by friend Joachim. He writes a bit for the German knife magazine and other publications, so it's in good hands. So we used the hollow rivet, the Swiss cross. We did completely anodized red, the backside, and we had the 08 year stamp, and also on this knife we used some of the older style can opener screwdriver. This one is more grinded than stone washed, so that was a bit different. Also by the can opener, it is the same. It's the old style that we used. So 2 pieces are in my collection of those. And then we made some limited editions, 1961 to 2011. The limited edition that was made for as a special run, you know. So that was the last one, but already without the year stamp. Then some more came, like this one here that we did with the file work. Tom Stratton was involved in this, an American artist. I'm gonna show some more file work. And what is also rare, and here we have the SBB CFF Swiss Army knife. That is basically a rare version from Victorinox. I did not see a Wenger one, made for the train people in Switzerland. If you were by the police, by the train, and by some of the mail and few other really important civilian occupations, you did not need to go to the Swiss military back then. And the train people did get one knife like this. It's relatively rare. I never saw a Wenger one. The main difference back then between the soldier knife and the train one had a longer flat screwdriver. For what special purpose they used that one, I'm not sure. I did drive trains for a while too, but that was not an issue, so we did not get that knife from that point. I did just find that from a private seller, so I don't know exactly for what they used that special screwdriver. Then we have some Dutch versions. The first one here, the KL90, is a Victorinox. Basically a soldier Swiss Army knife, no year stamp, but with a split ring. That was made for the Dutch military. Then they did switch to Ameba and Fosco. I hope I pronounce it correct. But you see that already optically, the quality from those two compared to this is substandard. It's pretty bad made. all over the quality and the workmanship. We see that by the rivets, and if you open the tools, you feel that as well. So that is basically just to show a bit the Dutch connection. Somehow the Dutch did opt out for a Swiss Army knife that was made in their country, and yeah, they did never made well quality, unfortunately. That did work out. Yeah, then we start on the side here, some version, some, I think 4 pieces of Swiss Army knives we made with 4/7 engraving, camouflage, and 4/7 digital camouflage. Hope the camera can see that correct. Year stamp is 08. 4/7 is a flashlight company. David Cho did help me in the past really well, and still does. So we made him a really unique Swiss Army knife. 4 pieces were made like that. Then we have 2 pieces in splash. They were made together with Wenger in Delemont as a test. We made a couple more, but that did not finalize in a serial production. They don't have the year stamp on that blades, but they have the bail, and those are splashed by Swissbianco, assembled by Wenger in Delemont. More information on many special runs are on the Swissbianco newsletter. That one is still in the archive, so you can look it up and see all the information. Then we made many different colors of handles. These ones were part of about 10 different colors in one run that we did let assemble, and those are file worked and laser engraved on the blade. So basically Tom Stratton did make the file work. This one is a bit light gold color. Then we have a purple, strong purple, and a black, and all of them have file work on them. The engraving plate on the back side, the year stamps are different. We have 08, 09, 08, and those 3 I did keep in my own collection for study collection, and just to keep. I like the work that I do. I think that did already show that I like what I do, otherwise I would not do it. Then we have 2 prototypes. I say important prototypes that I did back then by hand. I took apart Wenger Swiss Army knife, got the rivets, and did assemble them with G10. We see the red one is smooth, the black one is textured on the G10, and those were 1991 Swiss Army knives. I can't remember exactly the year when I did make those. Mr. Elsener did have those in his hand and looked at it. The point is that with G10 you have a way more solid color. Say with the red color goes through and through. Even with the anodizing, hard anodizing today, you would never get a color that is so durable all the way through. If you scratch the alox, it still comes silver natural color out. That is one point. The other point is the G10 is lighter, and it's also stronger as aluminum, so that makes sense. And I really believe for the future we should do more G10 versions as well. But those 2 are already really old. Then we have a version here of the Firesteel Swiss Army knife. It's a Victorinox soldier that got assembled at the factory with the Firesteel on the back. There are videos on my swissbianco YouTube channel that shows Damon Eggert how he used this as a striker with a flint and some fungus to start the fire. And this one was the idea of Mr. Brunner in Switzerland. Mr. Brunner was a really kind man. Unfortunately, I did only meet him once in my lifetime, but he was already a bit sick and then passed away. He did have a great collection that he exhibit from time to time, and did write for the German knife magazine. He had a lot of knowledge, and one of his specialties were knives with a fire striker on it, because quite likely as he growed up there was not as easy with lighters and zippos and all that, so somehow he really liked the fire strikers like that. And with a piece like that, which we also did later manufacture with Farmer Swiss Army knives, is it the way that you basically always can make a fire for the rest of your life, as you have a bit a flint and a fungus. Of course, it's more work involved in starting the fire than with a simple lighter, but that is how that is. Then we have here a Sunset Orange Soldier, limited edition, a copper color one, and so far the last that we did is the Apocalypse Green, AP Green, and it could be that this is the last version that is made in Ibach. We will see in 2014 how it goes on. And one thing for sure, we not gonna let the soldier Swiss Army knife go down. That is too important a knife with such a great history. So many people use that, not only in the military. Many craftsmen in Switzerland had that in the pocket. Even as I did learn blacksmiths back then, I had two pieces. I had a silver one and a really abused red one that the color was already, yeah, it was more silver than red. I remember somehow, can't remember where we got those, but cheap. We did not have any money. Switzerland was terrible money wise, so we needed to save money where we can, and we got that used somewhere. And at least back then I had a pocket knife, a good pocket knife for me. I did not know that they made the Farmer with the saw. That came later. And yeah, one of those I got in 1990 as I joined the Swiss military by the military police. So one of those, it was a Victorinox made, not a Wenger. We could not select back then. They just gave you one and finish. And same was with the rifle as well. They just gave you one. You could not select much. Yeah, that much about the soldier. Some of the soldiers that I have in my personal collection. I hope you did enjoy it a bit, and that you see a bit the different variations and stamps. There were so many different variations made. What counts on the soldier is basically the tools. What kind of tools are in the alox frame that makes it a soldier model, because that was sold civilianly without year stamp, even with the year stamp, different scales, different stamps. Yeah, whatever was left or overrun by the production for the military, they did sell civilianly, and mainly in Switzerland, sometimes even export, but that was relative rare how it looks. And yeah, so there is many different unique soldier Swiss Army knives out there.